I'm saying that a trans man who identifies as a man will tend to have similar brain structure that a cis man would.
And where did you get that from?
Look it up. It's literally, I'm telling you, I learned it from my anatomy class when I was 16. And I looked up the fact before I walked up here because I knew that you would ask.
Okay. That's not true, but it also doesn't answer the question. So let's try.
Yes, back to my channel, guys. Welcome back to my channel, guys. So I'm saw this video on TikTok. I couldn't really like get the title, so I'll just create a title for it. So guys, let's check it out.
So you've talked a lot about the mental illness and depressed and anxious population in the trans community, but you don't talk about the happy people in the trans community and how these preventative measures of, let's say, like puberty and the surgeries that go for gender affirmation and how these are life-changing and life-saving. I know many people...
Life-saving and life-changing.
Okay. One second, if I can finish my conversation.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Many people in my life have had these interventions made, and it's saved their lives. I can list dozens of people in my life. So what do you have to say for...
You can list dozens of people who had surgeries and drugs as children and would be dead today if they hadn't?
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Dozens of people who have had interventions, including gender-affirming, let's say, therapies, yes, hormones, surgeries, that have made their lives better. I'm not saying it didn't force them to commit suicide, but it made their lives better. What do you have to say for the happy trans community?
The happy trans community.
I guess I would throw it back at you first, because the burden of proof is on you on this one.
Exactly, it's on you.
And I'll explain why the burden of proof is on you. Because, as I went over in the talk, for thousands of years, human beings existed, and there was no such thing as trying to medically transition people into another gender.
Exactly.
And as far as we know, there was no suicide epidemic because of it.
It never happened.
And then in the last few years, people like yourself have come along and said, we desperately need to do this or people will be in despair and they might kill themselves. So you are making a claim that contradicts common sense, science, biology, also the entire experience of the whole history of the human race. And so what that means is that the burden of proof is on you to support it. And so I'm going to ask you, you said that people need this stuff so they can live happier lives and potentially it'd be life-saving, you said even.
Life-saving.
Aside from your anecdotes of your friends who told you so, how do you know that?
Okay, so thinking back to when I was 16 in an anatomy class, when I learned that transgender people tend to have the brain structure that confirms their identity that they identify with. And you can look that up. That's a fact.
I will look that up.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I will look that up and I won't find it.
Yeah.
It's not a fact. It's not a fact.
Should we all pull out Google
She's
really
lying
quick?
at the same time.
So you're saying a trans man has the brain of a woman?
No.
No. I'm saying that a trans man who identifies as a man will tend to have similar brain structure that a cis man would.
Yeah, where?
And where did you get that from?
Look it up. It's literally, I'm telling you, I learned it from my anatomy class when I was 16. And I looked up the fact before I walked up here because I knew that you would ask.
That's definitely not true. Exactly, doesn't answer the question too.
Not true, but it also doesn't answer the question. So let's try to stay focused on one false claim at a time if we can, because we might get bogged down.
Okay.
So you said, you actually started by saying that blocking puberty,
how is that life-saving?
which is chemical castration of a child,
Just one example, yeah.
Yeah, is life-saving.
It can be.
How do you know?
Because there are children who have been suicidal that have had these interventions made.
What children?
Okay.
How do you know? How many children have had that done
Me personally,
and then
I
are
haven't
still
met
suicidal?
children. Me personally, I haven't met enough trans children to answer that question.
Okay.
But I know
You
that
are
the
making-
research exists.
You're making this statement. You're stating it as a fact. And for all these people,
Exactly.
there must be a reason. There must be something that you encountered that
Why
led
do
you
you
to
just
this
look up with such ideas?
rather radical conclusion that to save a child's life, you have to chemically castrate him.
Not every child. No, sir.
Okay. Well, that is what you just said. The drugs
Okay.
we give to kids for puberty blockers, so-called puberty blockers, originally
Okay.
are cancer drugs used to treat prostate
Why
cancer.
will you do that?
They're also used to chemically castrate sex offenders and child rapists. Now we
Why?
give them to physically
How?
healthy kids. You're saying that we need to do that or they will die. And so one last time I'm going to ask you, what evidence do you have of that remarkable claim?
I don't think I claimed that every child would benefit from that.
Well, no, I didn't say you did.
So
okay,
You said
no,
puberty
you
blockers
did, you did.
you said puberty blockers are life-saving. What
I
evidence do
said
you have for that?
they can be.
So
The
how do you
evidence
know?
is the encounters with
In
patients
what way?
who have had these procedures done, and it has saved their, I don't want to say it saved their lives, but it has made their lives better. I can't confirm whether or not they're alive right this second, but there are children that it has helped. So what do you have to say for the happy trans community
Exactly.
who has benefited from these procedures? That's my
I
question
guess what I
for
have to
you.
say is that your
She can't
entire
even
question
defend
is built on a whole stack of false premises that you can't begin to even
From the start.
remotely
I reject your
defend.
Exactly.
So it's a faulty question from the start.
I don't think that
I
exists.
reject your premise.
That does not
I
exist.
absolutely reject
not exist?
that
What
there
is
are
she
any
saying,
kids
guys?
who need to be chemically castrated in order to be happy.
Okay, let's-
Tie-dye shit.
I reject that.
Always speaking trash. Let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.